Yeah.
It's okay to not know everything from the get-go. Like, it's kind of like relearning from the very beginning a new a language, right? Like you have to learn a completely new way of thinking. So it's going to take time. You're going to make mistakes. You just have to be gracious with yourself, and give yourself a chance to learn and develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Give yourself
Yeah,
a chance.
give yourself a chance.
Yeah, seriously. And like I don't know, the thing that I liked about what you said is, oh, you're gonna make mistakes because like people are, because you are relearning everything, and like that's okay. Like just
Totally.
be open to fixing those mistakes, and like acknowledging like when someone tells you, oh, it's not quite like that, it's like this, being like, ah, yes, now I will change my behavior based on the new information I've acquired, instead of just getting
Right.
defensive and being like, no, I'm not racist, look how hard I'm trying. So
Exactly. Right. And that's what I think is the separating factor, is if you immediately resort to defensiveness, that again, it's just a separating of, I want, like, pulling yourself together and saying, no, I want to understand you and I want to correct myself and be
yeah,
better.
yeah,
And you're like
yeah.
that and saying, like, come on. Yeah, I think you're right. I like that. I like what we're talking about.
We're just both so beautiful and so smart
Yeah,
and so talented.
and hydrated.
So, well, and
Yeah.
we both don't sunburn, which is super nice. Do you?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, no, because technically, I mean, I'm technically not white skinned. I've never sunburned. Actually, I sunburned one time, a little bit, right here when I was in Costa Rica. And I think it's just straight up because I was closer to the equator and I didn't even know what it was. I was just, why does my skin hurt? And my mom's like, I think you got a sunburn. I've never had this. So, yeah.
No, I've heard the closest again for me would be when we went to Mexico for our honeymoon. My legs felt like super leathery. It was only because of the combination of the ocean water and the sun.
Yeah.
But that was the closest I've ever been. And I like, again, I didn't burn the whole time. I didn't have to wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
I got really dark.
Yeah.
Like the darkest I've ever been.
I love that.
It was really cool because I was like, I can't do this. But yeah, I've never burned. So
yeah.
we're very
lucky. Suck it, white people. So,
yes.
question, if you are comfortable answering it, I know that you said that you like haven't experienced like a ton of racism or like oppression just because of living in Calgary and also just with your social circles. Yeah. Is there any experience you have? And if there is, do you want to tell us about it?
Oh, I thought about this one and I'm still kind of thinking about it. It's not necessarily like blatant racism. I feel like that I have experienced. I mean, growing up, your kids are kids, right? They'll notice differences in your skin colors and, whatever is different, they'll point out. What I feel like I have always experienced and continue to, way less now because I'm better at addressing it, but is microaggressions, right? And it's mostly from people of the older generation, people who are just in terms of like my workplace, just don't really necessarily get it and will make comments and laugh about it. And it's not necessarily particularly just towards me myself always. It's just to other races in general. And it's always, to me, it's not like it's like they know that they're even doing it, right? Like it's just something they've always done, they've always talked and related to one another and made jokes and stuff like that. But totally, there are things that you feel like you need to be defensive about, because I found myself personally in a lot of, for example, classrooms or in my workplace, and or wherever I do put myself as the only Black person there.
Yeah.
And so then I have to decide, is what I'm hearing, directly offensive, or like, is this okay? Am I supposed to just be laughing? But usually if I have to question it, I'm quite aware that it's something that is not okay. So I've been in a lot of those awkward situations. That's mostly been my experience for me personally.
Yeah.
There was one time that, and this isn't necessarily like something I thought or knew was a huge deal at the time, but I looked back and said, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. My mom had been on the phone, and her name is Fatima, and it's a revision on the word Fatima, so without the I there.
Okay.
She was like doing this like phone call, like trying to get something sorted in terms of like our internet or whatever it was, and she had been waiting. It was like an hour long discussing, and like, I need your help, and had been on hold a couple times, and eventually they got to the part where they had asked her what her name was, and she spelled it for them, and the spelling of her name is Fatma. And she spelled it, and they hung up because they were like, this has to be a prank, like someone's joking me like right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And my mom was so confused, and I was also very confused, like, why would you hang up? And maybe we also thought, like, maybe the call was dropped, the line was, like, but
Yeah.
it made sense to me. And that really broke my heart, because it's not like my mom chose her name.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God.
It was really like I was then confronted with, oh my gosh, like, people just don't, aren't aware that their whole life they're, so closed off to this whole idea of the fact that there are other people in the world who are different than me, and will have different name spellings than me, come from a different place in the world, different customs, different cultures, and if you grow up so surrounded by people like you, and you're then put into a situation like my mom was on the phone, and you just hang up because you're like, this has
That's
to be
not a name.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like I said, not necessarily like racism, but a very different type of experience, kind of similar to it.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last example would be any comments, negative comments I've said about me and Ian on YouTube. The worst one was that our kids would have a low IQ because Black people have low IQs. And so that he just set himself up. He's like, the guy was like going on about like crazy stuff that I was like, I had never heard of this before. And yeah, there are horrible, horrible people out there who comment horrible, horrible things, and that's
oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the only upfront racist stuff that I've ever had to deal with. But yeah.
Yikes. Yep. All right. Yeah, those are things I have never had to deal with. Well, I mean, like, mean people on the internet are everywhere, but it's never been about the color of my skin. So yeah. Yikes. Well, hope that everything works out. That's the worst way to say that ever. I'm cutting it.
It was so perfect. And cut.
Nice. And done. We did it. No, I really liked what you said so long ago, where you said it would be a failure of like our society if we didn't move forward.
Yeah.
And like just deal with this. So yeah, I hope that happens.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. And I think it's good that everyone is like kind of on the same page of like keeping the momentum going and like not backing down, you know? This is like the most traction this movement has had ever. So yeah, welcome to episode 5 of 2020.
Still kind of like, it's 2020, guys.
I know, yeah, for real. Like this, how is this still a thing? Oh my God. Yeah, well, I don't see a timer anywhere, but I think the Zoom is going to kick me off soon. So I just want to say thank you so much for doing this and for having the emotional space to do this. And I will also put a link in the description of Sherry's YouTube page, because now I know how to do that. So be prepared to get 7 more views, because subscribers I have. Yeah. Yeah, and I love you very much. And if there's anything you want, good. Yeah. And you have been such a delightful addition to our family. And your wedding was so much fun because of your cultural background. Oh my God. So much dancing, yelling. So good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully others like those, but if not, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. And know in your heart that your kids are going to be 8,000 times smarter than that one asshole.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I'm really excited. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for asking. I love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say hi to Chris and Haley. And
I will.
Katie.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye.